In this video, we'll talk about omission bias. It refers to people's tendency to see negative consequences that result from taking action as more harmful than the negative consequences that result from doing nothing. Therefore, people tend to prefer inaction to action. Here, taking action is commission, and doing nothing, which is inaction, is omission. The omission bias is one of the reasons that contribute to leaders' decision of doing nothing, perpetuating the status quo. So the omission bias contributes to the status quo bias, which we'll discuss in another video. The omission bias also contributes to the bystander effect, which was discussed in an earlier video. The bystander effect describes that the more bystanders who might help in an emergency situation, the more we assume that someone else will step forward. We do this because we do not want to take any personal risk. We fear doing the wrong thing and looking stupid. We worry about the costs of getting involved in someone else's business, especially when that someone outranks us, has more power than us, and may retaliate us. Our inaction leads to a passive social norm of inaction. An example of the omission bias is how a superintendent justified her decision of not removing a segregationist name from the school name. This superintendent said, "During my 20 years working in the district, I never heard one word mentioned about any discomfort of having public schools named for segregationists. Until it becomes a problem, it's not a problem. I have a lot of fish to fry." Consider a leader faced with a decision between adopting a new strategy and sitting on the sidelines. Both options lead to equally negative outcomes. With the omission bias, the leader is likely to think adopting and failing is riskier to his or her career than doing nothing. Therefore, inaction is a less critical mistake than taking action. Inaction, which comes from the omission bias, can create a toxic organizational culture. Our failure to act gives an implicit approval when dissent, disobedience, or whistleblowing are required to stop someone's unethical behavior, including leaders' abuse of power. In Zimbardo's book, The Lucifer Effect, he described that in organizations, one of the most critical, least acknowledged contributors to encourage unethical behavior is a silent chorus who look but don't see, who hear but don't listen. This collective silence blurs the line between right and wrong. The organizational silence demoralizes people, turning compassionate, caring people into callous, indifferent zombies who suck the lifeblood of an organization but never die. In this video, we talk about the omission bias. People tend to see negative consequences that result from taking action as more harmful than the negative consequences that result from failing to take action. Therefore, people tend to prefer inaction to action. Now it is time for you to provide an example of the omission bias and reflect on how it influences decisions made by you or the people around you.